What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and welcome back to the 12 Nostalgic Days of Christmas. Hope you're enjoying the series and all the memories our guests have shared, and of course all the memories I have shared as well. So with that, let's kick it off to our first guest. Alright, our first guest is none other than Miketendo. I found Miketendo through VGM unboxing videos, and he also does great pickup videos and just other videos as well, and he's a great artist as well. So check out Miketendo's channel, tell him 8-Bit Glitch sent you, and let's see what he's got for this episode.
From ATARI, made especially for systems from ATARI, the video game that lets you help E.T. get home, just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from ATARI.
Hi YouTube, Miketendo here. So I heard 8-Bit Glitch 79's call, and I came to answer that call with a couple of sentimental items that I'd like to share with you that sometimes give me warm fuzzy feelings, you know. One of these items happens to be the Evercade by Blaze, and this is a freaking awesome it's an awesome handheld, man. They put a lot of love in their product. It shows just down to the games, which come in cases, plastic cases, kind of like a Genesis case or something, but they have full color instructions. I mean, come on, nobody does manuals hardly these days, right? I love the system. I can vouch for it, man. There's a lot of awesome ports of older games ranging from 8, 16-bit, 32-bit, from different, companies, studios. They also have the console coming out, which some people already have it. And I'm waiting for mine to come in the mail, the Evercade Versus. When it comes out, man, I'll make sure to give you my thoughts on that. Okay, and another item I'd like to share is actually the only game that I still own from my childhood, which I just kept because I'd never want to get rid of it, really. It was always my favorite game all time. That's a Double Dragon for the Sega Master System. It's always fun, 2 players with a friend, and unlike the NES version, couldn't really do that. So this version was hands down superior. I still have the original manual, it came with it, and inside you can write down your high scores and such. So that's me and my cousin. We used to log our high scores back in the day. Very, very awesome game. And beat 'em ups are one of my favorite genres, and Double Dragon is like up there. It's not probably like the most. That and Renegade and Kunio-kun and that whole series. So that was my sentimental thoughts. So I'll leave it to you guys. Peace, happy holidays, have a great one. Okay, stay safe.
Awesome pick. The Evercade. I think I mentioned early on in this year's series that new things can actually bring up nostalgia, and that Evercade system definitely does that. It definitely satisfies that collector within us because it's a system that plays the retro games and officially and legitimately. Nothing that's like illegal about it. They're all licensed and everything, but they come in cart forms and they have great packaging and everything. So it's very reminiscent of like the old days with the games that came in the boxes, like Super Nintendo and Genesis, and obviously the NES and stuff. So Yeah, the Evercade very much is a very nostalgic kind of system, even though it's brand new. And Double Dragon, yes, for the Sega Master System is a very cool. I kind of like that port a lot. Um, I have to say though, the one on the Nintendo is a little bit more nostalgic to me because I played that more than I have the Sega Master System growing up, other than obviously the arcade. But the fact that you could do two-player was awesome on the Sega Master System versus the NES. But what a fantastic pick. Okay, guys, with that, let's move on to our second guest. Our second guest is JD from Everything Retro. I also found JD through VGM unboxings and awesome pickup videos he was doing early on and still does. But that's what really grabbed me was his VGM and pickup videos. Fantastic channel, fantastic dude. Check him out, and let's see what we got from JD today.
What's up, everyone? Welcome. It's your host, JD. It's Everything Retro. And today, thank you so much, 8-Bit Glitch, to be letting me be part of your amazing 12 days of nostalgia countdown. I love seeing these videos. Couldn't be happier and honored, more honored to be part of this nostalgia kind of thing. So thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate being part of this. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it simple. And for me, some of my most nostalgic memories from whenever I was a kid, I grew up in the 80s, so I was an 80s kid. And it has to be wrestling, For me, and I'm wearing a wrestling shirt. Wrestling really, for me, I grew up, I still remember going to my uncle's house and seeing the first ever WrestleMania. I can still vividly remember going to my uncle's house back in the day and watching Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant and just being mind blown. Once I turned 18, I ended up getting into wrestling for a good bit. I got some of my friends into wrestling as well. We did and traveled the Indies through Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and it was a blast. I miss it so much. Then I grew up when got to see the Attitude Era when ECW was a thing and WCW was a thing and WWF back then was incredible, and it really it set me off. I still remember wearing an RVD shirt that said the whole effing show on the back to school and getting in trouble for it. And then I got out of wrestling. Got older, went to college, got out of wrestling. When ECW and WCW died, there was just one wrestling organization. It became very PG. It wasn't something that I could fall in love with anymore. Recently, I did get it back into wrestling in 2019, when AEW came into existence. It brought back a lot of that old school nostalgic feels, of really enjoying wrestling, not knowing what's happening next week. The storylines were engaging, were something that I can invest in, short term and long term. And for me now, I am addicted. I love AEW. So you guys see me wear AEW shirts all the time. I collect wrestling figures, which I haven't done since I was a child. I started collecting AEW figures. Now I have pictures up here somewhere of what I have so far. And that collection keeps growing and growing, and I love it. Like, it just brings back so much great memories, and man, it's really cool. I know it should be video games. My whole channel is about video games, but wrestling for me is my most nostalgic thing. So that's what I'm gonna bring this. Again, thanks so much, 8-Bit Glitch, for having me on this, man. I really do appreciate it. And hey, stay retro, guys.
Wow, dude, fantastic pick. I thought you were going to go with a game or something, but wrestling, oh my God. Yeah, I was a big fan of wrestling in the 80s as a kid. I had an uncle who was big into it, and every time we'd go over his house, it would always be on, or he'd be watching it and stuff. And that's kind of what drew me into it. And that was during the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man kind of years. So, an Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake. Wow, I keep going. Brutus, Beefcake. Oh my God. But yeah, that was the era when I got into it, and what I still love to this day. I think that was one of the best eras. I know everybody goes on about the whole Rock and Stone Cold kind of era, which was great as well, but nothing beats that 80s wrestling. I think the one I remember the match the most, is the one with Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. That was so hyped for that one, and that was the one with if I remember correctly, that Andre had a big choke on Hulk Hogan. He was just like choking him in the middle of the ring, and all these wrestlers came out from the back. Junkyard Dog, all of them came out. I remember Junkyard Dog specifically, but they all came out and they're all like pulling on his arms, trying to get him to let go of Hulk Hogan, and they couldn't budge him and everything, and he would just like let go, throw one over the ring, and then pick Hogan back up, start choking him again. And it was so awesome. Oh, and then I remember what stopped it and everything was Jim Saw Duggan came out with his 2x4, and he just like cracked it and broke the 2x4 across Andre's back, which it didn't phase Andre, but it was enough to make him let go and turn around to try to go after him. And then the other wrestlers got in and dragged Hogan out of the ring. I just remember that so much. It was like so burned into my skull. Anyways, so yeah, awesome pick, total nostalgia right there. All right, guys, so with that, time for me to pick my nostalgic pick for this episode, and the shirt might kind of give it away. It is Futurama. Now you might be saying, how can that be so nostalgic? It's old, but it's not that old. You are probably obviously a lot older than a kid and stuff. It's like, well, like I'm saying, nostalgia can come. It doesn't have to be from childhood. It can be from any time in your life, to be honest. Something that just brings up good memories and makes you want to kind of relive those days. And I brought it up because it actually brings me back to my college days. Now, I know it was out like before college. I was in college and everything, and I loved it. But what I loved about it and what makes me think of college is my roommate and I, was a real good friend of mine. We go to concerts all the time. And we love the same kind of music and everything. But anyways, we both had jobs on campus at the library. And I remember we would take the night shift because it was the easiest shift. Obviously not a lot of people went to the library late at night. So we were able to get like homework done while working and stuff. And we would just do that, and we would chit chat all the time, just talk and hang out. And then I remember like, after our night shifts, we would walk back to the dorm, back to our room, and by that time it was like 11 o'clock, so Adult Swim was coming on. So it was Family Guy and all that stuff, and of course Futurama. And we would just sit there and just watch it while we were getting ready, to turn in for the night, to be ready for the next day. And oh my God, it was just, Futurama just made us really connect and made us laugh, and just really was another connection for us to bonding. And we would quote Futurama all the time. I remember we would come into the room every time and we'd just be like, "Good news, everyone," and stuff every time, no matter what. Stuff like we'd smell something, we'd always say, what smells like blue? Just some crazy quotes in the show and stuff. So every time I see anything Futurama related, whether it's just a picture, of course, that whole those Fry memes with the "take my money" or the where he's like thinking and stuff. Every time I see those, it makes me think of college and those days. I would show you my DVD collection set, but it's actually stored away because we're in the midst of still renovating some of the rooms upstairs, and it's been packed away in a tote until we get it back out. But I have all the seasons in DVD. I have all the movies that were released. It's one of my favorite animated series, and it's just very nostalgic. It makes me think of college, believe it or not, Futurama. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's my pick for this episode. Please stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. We'll be up to episode 11. Wow, we're almost to the end, guys. I hope you're enjoying the series, and until tomorrow, I'm glitching out.